Hello. Today I'm going to make a Pathfinder character. Pathfinder is a tabletop board game that belongs to Paizo Publishing. It's a lot like Dungeons and Dragons. What I need today is the core rulebook, the character sheets, a pencil, four 6-sided dice, an extra piece of paper. This is all you need to be able to create a character. You may need a little bit extra dice, such as one 10-sided, an 8-sided, a 4-sided, or a 12-sided dice. The basic ones you'll always need are these four when creating a character. These four on this side are used for your HP total, which we'll get into that in a little bit. When you're making a character, you should first start off by looking at your ability scores and by generating them. To generate your ability scores, there are 5 different methods to do so. I'm going to start with the simplest one. It is called the standard roll, or standard. What you do is you take these 4 dice and you roll them. A 2, another 2, a 2, and a 6. For this method, you'll want another piece of paper and you'll write down the highest 3 of your dice. So 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And so that is one of my ability scores. You'll do this 6 times. 4, 5, 3, and 2. You take away your lowest and add your highest. So there's 9, and then there's 12. Again, 1, 1, 4, 5. You take away your lowest, there is 10. The scores that I'm generating are going to be used to determine your character's strength, their dexterity, their constitution, their intelligence, their wisdom, and their charisma. Now, if you get a very bad roll to where it's below 9, like it is now, or below 10, sometimes your game master will allow you to re-roll. My game master has gave us the players the okay to re-roll it once. get to re-roll this set one time. There's 2, 6, 3, and 6. So there's 12 and 15. I need to do this 2 more times. 4, 6, 3, and 6. I now have 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. Six, 3, 6, and 1. So there is another 15. So I have 10, 12, 10, 15, 16, and 15. Now that I have my stats rolled, I don't need the dice. One thing you should... So next, you want to take a look at your character class. There are many different classes to choose from in this game. These are... And each one does different skills. Your classes are Barbarian, Bard, Cleric, Druid, Fighter, Monk, Paladin, Ranger, Rogue, Sorcerer, and Wizard. I think first I'm going to pick my race. The race is what your character looks like. It's kind of a basic thing. Or it's... Well, there's 7 races inside this book. There are the dwarves, the elves, the gnomes, the half-elves, half-orcs, halflings, and humans. I'm probably going to go with the basic character and do human. They're really simple. So I flip until I find humans. Every single race you choose from gives you racial traits. These traits are used to increase your character. But you can only use these racial traits once. So my racial trait as human means I get to add 1 ability score, or I can make one a +2. So I don't forget that. I'll put a +2 right here. This just shows I have a +2 I can use. Now I can start filling out the character name, class, and level. So, my character name. Let's go ahead and make a male this time. So I put an M where it says gender. Size is also medium, so I put another M. The age, we'll go with a 25-year-old. The height, weight, hair, eyes are all for role-playing purposes. The deity is the god you can choose inside the game. There's also a homeland and the player. Let me grab my pen. In Pathfinder, when you're making a character sheet, you should never write in pen. Because your character sheet will have multiple things get erased and rewritten. However, for the player, that will never change. There. Now my name is on there. The character's name will never change as well. Let's go with Jacquard. Jacquard. Now the alignment is how your character acts. So I want to make my character a good character, but I don't want them to be I want them to have good intentions, but they're willing to bend some rules for them in order to get a good outcome. So I think I'll make them a chaotic good character. Chaotic good. That will never change, usually. The character class, that can. The race usually doesn't. So let's go with human. 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 And that's all you can do in pen. Next. We'll copy all of our human racial traits onto the paper. So our character was medium sized, which we've already got. Normal is normal speed. So this is how fast your character can move. In Pathfinder, the base for a medium sized character is 30 feet. So 30 feet while in game is 6 squares, because every square on the board is 5 feet. I get a bonus feat. Bonus feats we'll get to in a little bit. I also get an additional skill rank, which goes here. And we'll get to that in a little bit too. You can choose from many different languages as well. But before we do that, let's go ahead and get my stats. And the standard, after you roll, you can choose however you want your stats to be, however you want these to be allocated. I want to make a character who is focused in ranged weapons. Ranged weapons in this game go off your dexterity. So I should put my highest or second highest into my dexterity. So we'll go with the 15 in my dexterity. The strength determines how strong your character is. So let's go with a 15 as well. Dexterity. That determines how well you can throw things, your aim, how agile your character is as well. Your constitution determines your HP, as well as how well you can stand up against poisons. So we'll go with a 12. Because my character will be ranged, she shouldn't, or he shouldn't have to deal with a lot of damage coming towards him. The intelligence is how smart your character is book-wise. This is like magic, dungeoneering, engineering, geography, your history, the local area, nature. They know about the nobles, the plains, and religion. It also helps you with magic users. It's a big skill for magic users. especially for wizards. However, my character doesn't need to be the smartest book-wise. Wisdom. Wisdom is street smarts. This is how well your character can hear, can see, can smell, can hear, and taste. They also help you with if you take on a profession in the game, such as being able to make armor, make weapons. You can sell those inside game for money, and your profession goes off of your wisdom. And wisdom also helps with survival. So I think my character, I'll put a 16. So we should go ahead and cross off what we have. We have 15. Oops. 15, 16, 10, and 12. So I only have 1 10 left. So I'll put a 10 right there. Now I also get to do a +2 now to any of these scores. I think I'll go ahead and put it into my charisma. So my charisma is now a 12. My wisdom is a 16. My intelligence is a 10. My constitution is 12. My dexterity is 15. And my strength is 15. These ability scores determine your ability modifier, which is used throughout the game and throughout the character sheet. That's essentially what all these are used for, is just to get this second number. So you have 10 through 11, which means you get a 0 in the ability modifier. You get a 12 to 13, which gives you a 1. Then you get 14 to 15, which gives you a 2. And a 16 to 17, which gives you a 3. Every 2 afterwards increases. So 18 to 19 is 4, 20 to 21 is 5, and so on. You can transfer anything that says ability modifier onto the page. So let's say if we look around, we have something that says dexterity modifier. So we'll go here to my dexterity modifier, which is a 2. And we'll put a 2 in there. Dexterity modifier, we'll put a 2 again. Your fortitude, reflex, and will. Fortitude is your constitution modifier, ability modifier. So that is a 1. Reflex is a dexterity, which is 2, and will is wisdom, which is 3. I have a strength modifier. Oops, I ran off the page. A dexterity modifier. So my strength is a 2. My strength is 2 and dexterity is 2. If your character is small, you also get certain bonuses underneath the size modifier. However, I don't need to worry about those. Now, I can determine my character's class. And that's from the fighter, the druid, the wizard, and so on, that I pointed out earlier. The first class in the book is barbarian. Barbarians are heavy hitters with high HP. Next we have bards. They're a support type class. They play music to hinder the enemy as well as help their allies. Clerics. These are your healers. Essentially, their magic is based on wisdom as well as their faith. There's a lot to spellcasters. Now you have druids. Druids are spellcasters as well, but they use a familiar, otherwise an animal companion. Here is the fighter, which I think I'll make my character, so he can be a little bit more well balanced. And I won't have to deal with magic. So if I go with a fighter, I will write fighter here. So F-I-G-H-T-E-R. And we start at level 1. So for his HP, to determine your HP total, will be shown as hit die right up here. It shows as a D10, which would be this type of dice. When you start at level 1, you automatically start out with the max you could roll, which is a 10 for me. And then you add your Constitution modifier to it. So the total would be 11. Now, there are class skills which come with the job, which is right here. These skills are located under these skills. What you'll do is you'll read off each one. The first one is climb. You'll check the box where it says climb. The next one is craft. You'll just check off one of the craft ones. Handle animal. Look at handle animal. Intimidate. Knowledge dungeoneering. Knowledge engineering. Profession. Survival. Ride. And swim. You get to put points into your skills. In order to do so, you'll look at your class skill section, and it'll say skill ranks per level is a 2 plus intelligence modifier. So every time I level, starting with this one, I get to add 2 plus my intelligence modifier. However, that's a 0, so I don't add anything. So I have 3 points I can use for this level. Let's first put into dungeoneering, or knowledge engineering, as well as climb. There's all 3 of my points. You'll see it says dexterity, intelligence, charisma, strength, and it also says ability modifier. You put your ability modifiers into this first column here, all the way down. So dexterity is 2, intelligence is 0, charisma is 1, and so on. Now that that's done, I get to add up my totals. However, if you put a rank and a skill that you have marked off for that very first rank, you get a +3. However, if I were to level and put another rank in here, so I'd put a 2 instead of a 1 here, I would still only get it for that very first point. So it never changes above 3. Then you add up your total. So that's 4, 4, that's 6, and that's all. Now we get to work on the weapons and armor. Each class has a starting amount of wealth they can use. Let's see here. Your starting wealth. Will be the equipment section of the book, if I remember correctly. Wealth and money, starting character wealth. So, as a fighter, I start out with 5d6 times 10. So you have 4 of those and 1 more. I now have to roll all of those and times it by 10 to see how much I start with. Now, creating a character is the hardest part of the game. So, 6, 6, 2, 2, and 3. So I have 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. So that means I start out with a starting wealth of 190 gold, which you'll put onto your second character sheet. You'll put it down at the bottom where it says wealth or money. So it says CP, SP, GP, and PP. You have copper pieces, silver pieces, gold pieces, and platinum pieces inside this game. 150. Of course, this changes over time, so you'll want to never write it in pen. I think this will be a good stopping point for today. And I want to thank you for listening and watching. I'll get to the next section when I am able to. And thank you again.